I went in for an anti-aging treatment to smooth out some wrinkles, but I walked out with something even better, relief for my dry eyes. Today, I'm reviewing Tixel, which is the FDA-approved treatment that might just be the best multitasker for women over 50. If you're new here, hi, I'm Amy. By day, I'm an HR tech director, but by passion, I'm a certified makeup artist. A dream I turned into a certification at the age of 52. On this channel, I approach beauty products and beauty tech like a systems thinker. What works, why it works, and whether it's worth it. So let's get into the details. What exactly is Tixel, and is it worth your investment? First, let's clear up the biggest misconception. Tixel is not a laser. Lasers use light, and Tixel uses straight-up heat. It's a non-invasive facial treatment that's gaining popularity for skin rejuvenation. The technology that they use is called thermomechanical ablation, which works by gently applying heat and pressure to the skin. This stimulates collagen, which, as you know, helps to plump up fine lines and wrinkles and even out skin texture. Think of the device tip like a tiny little medical-grade waffle iron made of titanium, which means while it's hot, it's also self-sanitizing. It heats up to about 400 degrees Celsius, which absolutely sounds terrifying, but it taps your skin for just a fraction of a second. The application is so fast that it doesn't burn you. Instead, what it does is it transfers thermal energy deep into your skin. And because there's no light and there's no radiation involved, it's generally safe for all skin types. And crucially, this was the best part, and this is what attracted me to it, is that it's safe to use directly on your eyelids. So it can help tighten up this loose skin here and around here. But as always, I'm going to caution you to consult your dermatologist before pursuing any of these types of treatments, especially if you suffer from melasma. Now, here's the irony of dry eye that drives me crazy. It's not that your eyes are super dry and gritty. Your eyes aren't just dry. They overcompensate, which means they water constantly. If you have this issue, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You have tears running down your face for no reason, and your eye makeup, which you just spent good time on, literally slides right off. It is absolutely frustrating and annoying. I cannot count the number of times that I have gotten to work and half of my eye makeup is gone, typically on this eye, my left eye, because this one is so much worse than my right one. And this all started between thyroid disorder and when I had lens replacement surgery. If you've had lens replacement or if you've had LASIK, you're probably suffering from some sort of dry eye. So here's how Tixel fixes that. The heat melts up the hardened oils that are clogging our eyelid glands. And once those glands are clear, they coat your eye properly and your body stops panic-producing watery tears. I am going in for a Tixel treatment, which is a skin resurfacing treatment that uses heat instead of light. So that's how it's a bit different from a laser, because I'm a little afraid of lasers. So I want to address my hyperpigmentation that's here under my jawline. It's also supposed to address fine lines and hopefully the broken capillaries and redness I have around my nose. So let's see. So yes, Tixel is FDA cleared for dry eye, but for me, it was the solution to keeping my eyeshadow where it belongs, which is on my eyeballs. So, okay, $1 million question. I am sure that you guys are wondering, so how bad does it hurt? And I'm going to be honest with you. Don't skip the numbing cream. They let you sit for about 45 minutes, and you need every minute of that. With the numbing, it's not that it's painful, but it's intense. It doesn't feel like a laser snap for those of you who have had like laser hair removal or you've had laser treatment done on your face, which I have not. It feels like a very quick, hot stamp. For the most part, it's very tolerable, but not gonna lie, when she got to my eyelids and around the mouth, those areas were very spicy. The weirdest part isn't even the heat, it's the sound. You hear like this little, almost like clicking sound every time that titanium tip touches down on your face. It's a little startling at first, especially when they go to do the eyes, but because it's so fast, that heat doesn't linger, so it's not that terrible. But what does your face feel like afterward? That was spicy, but bearable. So I feel like I have a severe sunburn right now. She said that that'll calm down probably in about an hour or so. But here's the best part that I was not aware of, and I'm so happy, is that this treatment has actually been FDA approved for dry eye. And I suffer from dry eye severely. So this is going to be an added benefit. They recommend 3 to 5 sessions. She thinks I'll need 5, but she said if I'm happy after 3, um, it's my choice. They space them out like every 4 to 6 weeks. So I will check in again tomorrow. She did tell me I cannot wash my face or do anything to my face for the next 36 to 48 hours because I have open channels all throughout my face. She did give me a beautiful PDRN mask to put on in a little bit and some serums to keep applying over the next 2 days. But by Monday, when I'm, get up for work, I'll be able to do my normal routine and put makeup on and all that other stuff. So stay tuned for more. So I'm going to insert a little bit of B-roll here so you get my initial reaction when I walked out of the treatment center. My face felt extreme sunburn hot for about 2 hours. Now, I did do some application of a couple of things that I'll get to in just a minute. Think of going to a tanning bed, but you sat in the tanning bed for too long. That's essentially what it feels like when you leave. So I did apply a chilled exosome sheet mask, which really helped. And then over the next few days, what you'll get are these little teeny tiny microscopic scabs. So if you look really closely in the mirror, you'll be able to see like this grid pattern, which to me was kind of cool to see, but you'll have this grid pattern on your face. So remember earlier when I mentioned the waffle iron, that's the proof. Okay, here we are. It's been about 18 hours since the treatment. It took probably about, I would say, almost 2 hours last night for that sunburn feeling to subside. I did put a PDRN sheet mask on as instructed that she had kept in the fridge for me, so I did do that last night. This morning, again, she said, do not wash my face for 36 to 48 hours, so I did not. But I did put on the serums that she sent me home with. The other thing is last night she told me to make sure I would, that I slept elevated so that I didn't have any issues with swelling with the eyes since she did treat the eyelids and I had no issues this morning. So here's how we look. You can see some, obviously discoloration. I still have open channels obviously in my skin, but they are healing. It's not uncomfortable at all. I don't even feel like anything happened. So we'll see what tomorrow brings. So stay tuned. Here's where you need to ignore the marketing brochures. They might tell you that you can wear makeup in 24 hours. Don't do that. Give your skin a minimum of 48 hours to breathe. And for the eyes, I highly recommend, and this is based on my experience, absolutely no makeup until that scabbing cycle is 100% complete. Don't rush this. You just invested in this treatment. So don't ruin it by clogging up those channels that you just had made in your face with concealer. Plan your Zoom calls accordingly or just keep the camera off. I did my procedure on a Friday, and while I did wear makeup to work on Monday, in hindsight, when I go back for my second treatment, I will not wear eye makeup for at least 5 to 6 days post-treatment. Y'all at work, you're just gonna have to deal with some naked eyes. But one final rule, put down the retinol. There is absolutely no actives, no acids, no exfoliating for at least 7 days. Treat your skin like a baby. Gentle cleansers, heavy moisturizers, sunscreen, that's it. Okay, so it's been almost 48 hours. I've not washed my face yet, and I am dying to. But what I will tell you is that now my face feels like 80 grit sandpaper. Like it's that's really what it feels like. And I don't know if you can see it, but you can almost see like the little grid marks from the tool. But this is all a good thing because what that means is that underneath this is all the new skin. So tomorrow, when I get up to get ready for work, I will be washing with a very gentle cleanser to get some of that off. I will be able to wear makeup. But I just need to get through today. Instead, I was given some very specific post-procedure serums to use, and this is key. You don't just go home and slap on whatever you already own. You use what they give you. That's it, nothing else. They also provided me, like I said earlier, with an exosome mask that had been kept refrigerated. So I used that within 2 hours when I got home. So that really, really helped with that initial burning feeling. And then I used some that I had already in my stash a couple more times during the first couple of days. And let me tell you, that cold mask was absolute heaven. I will say when I woke up on Saturday, there was no burning at all. And you'll see in some of the check-in photos and videos that you can see some blotchiness. You'll be able to see that I'm still kind of red, but it wasn't anything like right after I'd had the procedure done. Those masks really calmed the heat, helped to reduce the redness, and helped to support my healing. So if your provider offers you something like that, use it. It's not fluff. It really does make a difference. So the real Aftercare formula looks like this. Use only the prescribed serums. Apply the chilled exosome mask as directed. No actives, no exfoliating, no experimenting. This is not the time to test a new vitamin C serum. Now, once I got through the first 48 hours, there were some products that I used religiously for the next week. And these are products that I already had. So my eyelids tended to scab quite a bit, especially this left eye. It got pretty gnarly, I'm not going to lie. I was applying at night this calendula balsam. I was just tapping it on to give it some relief. Plus calendula has healing properties in it. So this really helped the eye area heal very quickly. The other thing that I use, and this is something that's part of my daily routine anyway, is the Qatari rosehip oil because of the fats in this really help to put down on that base layer before I layered anything else on top of it. Plus, this oil just feels amazing. Before I get to what I consider my two hero products, I used this Allies of Skin Peptide and Omega Firming Eye Cream. And the reason why I use this around the orbital bone area is because the omegas have fatty acids in it, which is great for healing. My two hero products, and this is something I've been using for probably maybe not quite 30 to 45 days, but this product I absolutely love. This is the Sweet Chemistry Barrier Repairing Oil Serum. Now, you guys know how I tend to geek out on the sciencey stuff, so I did a deep dive into the ingredients. It has been the founder, Alec Batiste. You got to check him out. I will link to his profile and Sweet Chemistry in the description box, but there's a special formulation in here of 3%, and I'm probably going to butcher this, matrikines regenerative ECM-derived peptides. I can go into a whole nother video just about these Sweet Chemistry products, but this stuff, you guys, I only need 1 pump. I'm just going to do a half a pump here. It is freaking amazing, especially if you have dry skin or you have a barrier that needs to be repaired. I adore this stuff. I only wear this at night because I want to let it just soak in, because that at nighttime is when our skin does all its healing. And then during the day, I topped it off with their Elasticity Reinforcing Hydro Cream. This is a nice light cream that you can layer. You can even mix it with the oil so that it's just one step. And then at night, I used a heavier cream. I used the RMS Beauty Kakadu Luxe Cream, which is just heaven in a jar. Feels freaking amazing. So with layering these products during the day and at night, my skin healed very, very quickly. The only area where I feel a little bit the roughness from the tool, and that's because it's still healing, and likely because I never think to apply product to this area, is behind my ears, because she went all through here to kind of snatch my whole jawline. Now, pricing is going to vary depending on where you live, the areas you want treated, your provider, and I'm going to be honest, it is not inexpensive. Just know that this is an investment treatment, and depending on your provider, you could potentially use your HSA funds or see if they might offer 0% interest with care credit. So here's the bottom line. Tixel is not a one and done miracle. Most providers recommend 3 to 5 treatments depending on what you're trying to improve, whether it's fine lines, it's texture, it's skin laxity, or dry eye relief. That's the one thing I really appreciate about this is you don't have to do your full face. You can spot treat. You can do just your eyes. You could do just your jawline and your neck, around the mouth. If you're not looking for full total resurfacing, you don't need to do it. The best way it was described to me is when you think about the cost. This particular treatment is multiple treatments in one because you could be addressing hyperpigmentation, your texture, your tone, and tightness, right? Tightening up that skin because you're generating more collagen. So it makes the treatment customizable, and I definitely prefer customizable. From a safety standpoint, I feel very comfortable with this. If it is FDA cleared, it's not a laser, there's no radiation involved, and when it's performed by a trained provider with proper aftercare, it's controlled and predictable. Was it spicy? Heck yeah, it was. Was it worth it? For my dry eyes and texture improvement, absolutely. I've only had one session thus far. I have another one coming up in a few weeks. They recommend to space them 4 to 6 weeks apart, so I opted for 6 weeks. And as always, the key is choosing an experienced provider and following the aftercare exactly. That's where your results are going to be made or lost. Now, I will link the products that I mentioned earlier during the recovery phase, as well as the products that I used for my makeup look today in the description box below, as well as the information on where you can check out Sweet Chemistry. But now, I want to hear from you. Have you heard of Tixel? Would you ever try it? Or have you tried it? Still on the fence? Need more info? Drop your thoughts and questions in the comments below. I do read every single one. I'll see you in the next video with more tea, tips, and tools for your Gen X pro-aging power moves.